This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Spooky, scary Bob Shoween, we're creepy, eerie pros. It's time for some of the worst movies and TV shows. Spooky, scary Bob Shoween, dribble, junk, and tripe. Maybe even a treat or two if you believe the hype. We're so sorry, cinema, but have you any pride? If you wanted to be good, then you should have tried. Spooky, scary Bob Shoween for entertaining you. We will make you laugh and scream, so just relax and boom! Ho 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 ho! Happy everyone! Today we're going to be looking at Monster Family, chosen by my executive producers at patreon.com. But just say this, it's a lot of them. Today's movie is based on the novel Happy Family by David Safier, which has garnered some pretty damn mixed reviews. I guess someone at Ambient Entertainment thought that this would be the perfect book to adapt into a feature film, as well as a 4D movie ride for a little-known amusement park in Somerset's Spooky Caves, which is so obscure that I can't find any evidence of its existence outside of a single promotional clip. I'm not one to turn my nose up at any movie's less-than-conventional origins, but this doesn't strike me as the strongest intellectual property for a film adaptation. Anyway, we open on Dracula's castle in the snowier-than-usual Carpathian Mountains, where a couple of bats are playing, what else, Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Immediately, we can see that the animation is actually pretty good compared to the rest of the crap I normally review, but I especially like how this pipe organ is integrated into the castle, looking like a giant bat. It's awesome. That's what we were building up to. Not exactly Igor waiting for his bit in the Transylvanian lullaby, is it? Their master comes home, wanting to play something a little more now.
Okay then, on your marks. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
So we've got Dracula singing a little Tom Jones. Not the first thing that comes to mind when thinking of Dracula, but hey, he's a few hundred years old, he wants to be learned and culturally relevant so he can blend in with society. Maybe he'd pick up an affinity for modern music along the way, and no! 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 I don't care how lonely an existence he may be leading, Dracula does not suck his thumb! 3 minutes in, and any notion that Dracula is a credible threat is completely destroyed! Look at this. He's so pathetic that one of his minion bats is snuggling up to it. You love him, don't you?
Mm-hmm. He's a therapy bat.
Stop it! Darkness, I do not do cuddling!
After the title comes onto the screen for a whole 2 seconds, you jump over to New York, New York, the town so American that it's full of Brits.
It'll be oh, I'm sorry.
This is Emma Wishbone, voiced by Emily Watson. Over the next few minutes, we're going to meet her husband Frank, voiced by Nick Frost, and her 2 children, Faye and Max, played respectively by Jessica Brown Findlay and Ethan Rouse, all of whom come from the UK. The movie never explains that this English family only just moved to the United States or something, leaving me to think that the German filmmakers behind this movie don't know the difference between the US and the UK. Anyway, Emma's on her way to work, when she misdials on her cell phone and somehow reaches Dracula. 1. Why does Dracula have a cell phone? With whom is he trying to stay in contact? 2. Why does he keep his phone in his dick?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. I want your teeth.
Excuse me.
Your fake vampire teeth. You see, I've been looking everywhere. You are my last hope.
I can assure you, madam, I may be getting on in years, but my teeth are very much my own.
This is Vampires Are Us, the costume store.
No. No, it is not. There is no way in heaven, hell, or everything in between that you're going to misdial while trying to get a costume store, and in particular one revolving around vampires, and you get Count Frickin' Dracula. She says that she's looking for vampire teeth? I don't know what kind of British rock you've been living under, lady, but Halloween stores are everywhere this time of year. How hard can vampire teeth really be to come by?
This is Vampires Are Us, the costume store.
This is Dracula.
Who?
Dracula, the Prince of Darkness. The Bat out of Hell, the Scourge of Transylvania.
I'm not usually one to give a movie any kind of grief for faulty lip-syncing when it's being translated from one language to another, but the lip-sync in this particular scene is so perfect that it just leaves me wondering why the rest of the movie's lip-sync is so lackluster.
Okay, Dracula, I'm hanging up now.
Stop! No, please don't hang up. Please.
Why not?
It's just so nice to finally have someone to talk to.
Are you lonely?
So very lonely.
Say, Raven, if you dial the wrong number and the guy on the other end says, "No, don't hang up, I'm so lonely," what's your response?
Get a pet. Click.
Emma's life-threatening clumsiness cuts their already prolonged conversation short, and Dracula exposits to his servant Renfield that he's going to make Emma his bride. I gotta say, for not being a vampire, Renfield looks pretty good for someone a few hundred years old.
Must be one hell of a skincare regimen.
It turns out that Dracula has the Baba Yaga doing his bidding, and he wants her to turn Emma into a vampire.
But Dracula you are, why not simply bite her yourself?
Oh, if I bite her, she will lose her soul. And her soul is exquisite.
And why would she not lose her soul if a witch turns her into a vampire?
Then enchant her. I can.
And apparently by beads she is trapped? Emma, meanwhile, has been fighting an uphill battle to get her apathetic family to go to a local costume party with her, where, for some reason, absolutely no one else is in costume, despite the flyer for it reading, "Monster Costume Party."
That was totally humiliating, and it's all your fault.
It was an accident.
No one wanted to come on your stupid family outing.
So ungrateful. Hey, come on, don't shout at the kids.
Ah! I hate that my daughter does nothing but insult me. And I hate that my kids are always fighting. And I hate that my husband just sleeps through it all.
Never mind. Her wanting to chat with some random stranger on the phone makes total sense. The Baba Yaga poofs her way across the pond and curses our heroes to transform into their costumes.
Hold on, I'll help you.
Oh no, it's Freddy from 100% Wolf! Kill it!
Shame on you! He is way cuter than that poodle.
I'm hairy! All over!
Oh, that's Dad.
Thank goodness he's retained his visible flatulence that he had when he was still alive.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, come on, Frank! Smells like something crawled inside you and died.
Apparently, this is his defining character trait. Emma tries to get the Baba Yaga to change them back, but since her magical amulet just used up most of its power, she's having trouble pooping away. I know that vampires are supposed to be super strong, but the Baba Yaga can bounce around like this because witches are made out of rubber or something? While Emma's busy chasing and losing her quarry, Max sneaks away and decides to get revenge on his bully.
Scores! Yeah! Woo!
Seriously? That's the extent of your revenge? Throwing a lion's roar at this punk? You're supposed to lunge for him and leave nothing but a puddle of bully in his wake. Faye, meanwhile, tries to get help from her crush, who only just noticed her earlier today, but he doesn't take it well.
It's me, Faye. I'm a mummy? Some crazy witch has cursed my whole family.
Okay, someone's had way too much Halloween candy.
You think I'm disgusting, don't you?
Well, let's see. You're technically dead. Your skin probably feels like paper mache. You stink to high heaven. So does he think you're disgusting?
Let me think.
Yes!
No, you're great. You're the best-looking decaying corpse I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, you're not so hot either.
Way to get him back?
Eventually, they all meet each other back at home.
Okay, that's new.
Okay. He's hugging his mom. He's feeling a bit affectionate towards her. Shouldn't that first lick have surprised him too?
Yes!
Faye, are you okay, sweetie?
Don't you dare, sweetie me. This is all your fault.
What?
If you hadn't made us wear these stupid costumes, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Thanks, movie. You couldn't make Max sit on the floor and scratch his ear with his hind paw, or chase his little nub of a tail, all to the surprise of his highly scientific mind. Just have him licking inside of his nose, because dogs do that too, right? Emma says that she overheard the Baba Yaga say that she was going to the Oculus Londra.
Oculus Londra means London Eye. That's a big Ferris wheel in London.
No, if she was going to go to the London Eye, then she would have said London Eye. Oculus Londra is gibberish.
I've read at school that the London Eye is built on an ancient magical site.
You know, movie, there are other sites in England that are said to have actual mystical properties to them. You don't have to make up some bullcrap about the London Eye. So they get their hippie friend Cheyenne to take them to the airport.
That is some serious spiritual reshaping.
Tell me about it. I just coughed up a furball.
That's a cat!
Has anyone working on this movie actually met a canine of any kind?
And naturally, Cheyenne here doesn't have any questions as to why her friends are now a bunch of monsters. Because hi?
Life is a journey, and I like to travel in style.
I'm really glad Dr. Colorblind.
After doing a bit of research on the subject, it turns out that dogs aren't really as colorblind as they're commonly believed to be. They only have trouble differentiating red from green. But even if Max here really is colorblind, how would he know what he's missing?
Finally, a boy thought I was pretty, and now he can't even look at me.
Beauty doesn't last. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, Faye. You have to know yourself how special you are.
They get to the airport, but Emma somehow forgot that sunlight is a touch problematic for vampires.
But I've got to get on that plane.
Well, there are legends that say vampires with souls might be able to survive contact with the sun.
Okay, seriously, stop making up crap to sell this kid as the smart one. He's supposed to be a science geek, not a monster enthusiast. After another pointless fart joke that pushes Emma out of the van and proves that she isn't vulnerable to the sun, when she was just going to step out of the van on her own anyway, they make their way through the airport.
What if I said I might not want to be changed back? I like people being scared of me.
Max, right now, you think it's great that people are scared of you, but scary people are lonely because nobody wants to be around them.
Naturally, buying tickets proves a bit difficult.
5 tickets to London, please. Actually, that's 4 people and a dog. He travels everywhere with us. This little one is part of the family. Isn't that right, Buster?
Of course. And why is Mr. Wishbone 2 feet taller than stated here?
Growth hormones in the meat. Don't you watch the news?
And what's going on with your daughter?
Acne, puberty, you know. Very severe case.
I don't suppose the vampire can hypnotize this lady into letting them on board?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but these people don't look anything like your passport photos. Look, I've had a bit of a day, and you are going to let me and my family board. I'm going to let you and your family board. See? If you want to get anything done, you need to be firm.
We have to get to London, find the witch so that she can make us human again. You have to let us on that plane, you have to.
No problem. And I'll upgrade you to first class.
Maybe I'm a little rusty in my mummy lore. Maybe mummies actually can hypnotize people? I don't know. But I do know that if they can do that, it's not as well known as a vampire's ability to hypnotize people. Why didn't you just make the vampire do that?
Look, girls, that's what happens when you over-exfoliate.
You are big, stupid monkeys. And she has got a banana. Hey. If I have to look like this, at least let me have some fun.
Again, not a mummy expert, but maybe it would be fun if you sucked out their fluids and organs? So they're on their way to England, but Emma starts feeling the hunger.
How about tomato juice?
No, you want to give her a cherry Coke. That's what bloodsuckers crave.
That's one way.
You know what? This would be the perfect opportunity to show us how devoted Frank is to his wife. All that we know about him is that he's tired from having to work all the time, but it's never established that he's a workaholic or he uses his job as an escape from his family. It looks to me like he's only working overtime because he loves his family, and he's trying to keep a roof over their heads. And since they live in the ridiculously expensive New York, can you blame the guy? Here we see his beloved wife, doubled over in pain from being so hungry, but she is horrified at the prospect of drinking blood. Frank then holds up his arm in front of her face, suggesting that she drink his blood. Technically, he's already dead. He now has more blood in his system than the average human would. He's in a position to give her enough blood to sate her thirst, but if she starts enjoying it and drinking more than her fill, Frank is strong enough to push her off. This would give us a workaround for her vampirism, and a demonstration of how the real Frank is still inside of this farting corpse somewhere. But why would you want to show a husband and a wife having a bond or something? Pfft. Before she can take a bite out of Frank Nelson here, oh no! It turns out that Dracula is on the plane as well, and he has the power to freeze people? Even when they're jumping through the air? What? And it's not like he's freezing time. We're going to see in a minute that the plane is still moving when he opens the hatch. And why is he dressed like Magneto? He very easily convinces Emma to run away with him. So he pushes her off the plane and flies off with her, thanks in part to his rocket boots and helmet that doesn't look like it provides any kind of protection from the sun. So long as they're going all supervillain with him, why not put him in a mirrored helmet? Sure, he'd look like Cobra Commander, but he'd also look more sunproof. While on board his pretty badass-looking jet, Dracula gives her a pill that... well, I don't really know what it does. Dracula says it's her lunch, suggesting that it's some kind of synthetic blood substitute. But once she takes it, she says...
It's working! Oh, I'm changing back!
So I guess this is some kind of cure for vampirism? And no, they never addressed the possibility of the super scientific genius of Dracula thinking of using it on himself, because this movie's dumb.
Finally, there's someone who can understand me and share my life.
She was completely oblivious to a vampire's vulnerability to sunlight. She understands nothing about you. After a little montage of what her life with Dracula could be like, brought to us by either super awesome holograms or trippy hallucinogens, we don't know. Emma changes her mind and decides to go stay with her horrible family, and Dracula boots her off his plane too.
You could have just called me a cab!
Not sure how that'd help, but alright, you're a cab. Her family somehow makes it to the London Eye without eating each other in the process, and Emma somehow lands in the Thames right where they are?
How convenient.
Emma. Even with whatever neurological impairments might come with being a Frankenstein monster, Emma is one of the words that you should know by heart. Emma. Not Memma. Sounds like you're saying mama.
Apparently his thing is just putting the letter M in front of every word. That's mucking moopid.
Meanwhile, back on Dracula's end...
Redfield! Prepare Operation Ice Age. If I can't have love, and no one can, I will eliminate all life on Earth.
No, this is when you decide to make Emma more available and kill her family.
No, he can't do that. Too dark.
Oh, but killing all of humanity and eventually himself and Emma, that's fine?
Maybe?
Baba Yaga shows up and fully charges her amulet, giving her the power to poof the family to Egypt. Why she doesn't take Emma to Dracula and make everyone else just explode, I don't know. This witch with unspeakable powers somehow gets bested by their stupid hippie friend, and they soon become friends themselves because of flower power or some shit. But if you think that's stupid, check out Dracula's explanation of Operation Ice Age.
The fate of the world rests in my hand. The innocent snowflake, engineered into a deadly weapon. Behold, what this tiny flick alone can achieve. Now imagine billions of these flakes pressed together into an icy sphere. With that, we'll destroy the sun itself, and the Earth will be plunged into a deadly ice age.
He wants to use weaponized snowflakes to destroy the sun? Okay, that's an interesting take on bringing on a new ice age and destroying the world, but let's dig a little deeper into that plan, shall we? The mass of one snowflake is roughly 3 grams. Dracula said billions of snowflakes, plural, so for the sake of argument, let's use a nice round number like 2 billion. 3 grams of snowflake multiplied by 2 billion gives us a mass of 6 billion grams, or roughly 2.7 million pounds. Admittedly, a 2.7 million pound snowball sounds pretty big, doesn't it? But the Earth itself weighs 13,170 billion trillion pounds, and the Sun is so large that if it were a solid object, it could fit 1.3 million Earths inside of it. Throwing a 2.7 million pound snowball at the Sun would be so inconsequential that it might as well have not even happened at all. And no, my disbelief can't be suspended to allow for a weaponized snowflake to freeze fire anyway, because fire can't be frozen! In other words, you're a dumbass. It's not like it matters anyway, since this freezing is only temporary. Even if you could freeze the sun, it looks like it'll just go back to normal almost immediately, resulting in maybe the Earth going dark and cooling down for a few minutes. The family eventually gets sick of each other, and they all part ways. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be sad, and you hate to see them break up, but these people are all awful. I genuinely do not care about what happens to them, not helped by the knowledge that, of course, they're all going to get back together for reasons unsubstantial. Then from out of nowhere, Faye meets the original mummy, Imhotep.
Welcome to Egypt, beautiful creature.
How do you look at that and figure that she's not from around here and warranting of a welcome? Why aren't you mistaking her for one of your own?
Also, Ew, she's a few thousand years out of your age bracket, sir.
For thousands of years, I have waited for a woman like you. One who is special. One whose beauty shines brighter than the sun.
A woman who has been mummified and looks far better dead than she ever did in life. Seriously, why are you swooning over this?
He's just trying to get into your bandages.
Frank and Max, meanwhile, run into those models from the airport. So far, this movie has taken us to 4 countries, but apparently the entire world is populated by only a dozen people.
It's a small world after all.
Frank helps them get to Egypt's fabulous Luxor Hotel, and they're all gaga for him. I don't care that all these ladies are apparently a bunch of size queens. His enormous schwanzsticke is not worth the stink. Dracula picks up Emma again before she gives in to her bloodlust, and takes her back to his castle. Sure is a good thing that Transylvania is only 5 minutes from Egypt. Earlier we saw that she was dangerously clumsy as a human. Shouldn't she be a touch more graceful as a vampire?
More to the point, she should be trying to escape, amplified by her new gracefulness to the point where it looks like she's actually dancing with Dracula, so much so that even she's surprised by it.
By the way, I hope y'all appreciate how I'm editing each family member's subplot into more cohesive sequences. The way this keeps jumping back and forth between them every few seconds, the movie looks like it has attention deficit disorder.
Hey! Anything on 4 legs stays on a lead.
Who's on 4 legs? Hi. It's okay. I won't hurt you.
Scary people are lonely because nobody wants to be around them.
Meanwhile, the angry, socially stunted teenage girl doesn't accept Imhotep's offer to join his side so they can conquer the world together. And we jump back to Emma, who accepts Dracula's proposal, this time apparently for keeps.
This is mine?
Why is he making fun of her?
Maybe he's jealous of her. Dracula should have been his! Faye and Imhotep eventually catch up with Frank and Max.
I will not let you go.
I'm not going to let you take over the world.
You must come with me. Who else will accept you? Looking like you do.
It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, Faye.
It doesn't matter what I look like. It matters who I am inside.
Sure is a shame that you're just as ugly within as you are without. Instead of just flying off to take over the world on his own, Imhotep tries to kill them all first, but Daddy isn't having it. Why doesn't he just turn into sand and stuff himself into every one of Frank's orifices until he explodes?
They can't even finish the scene! Where are we now?
We're in Dracula's Lazarus bath, which I guess is a giant bowl of fruit punch. Minutes after deciding to become Dracula's bride, Emma starts missing her horrible family again, just in time for Baba Yaga and her stupid hippie friend to show up. Because they knew Emma would be here somehow, and they poof the rest of the family there.
Emma, you mustn't leave this castle.
So he can speak.
Yes, he can speak. In the wrong voice. He's supposed to sound like Dwight Fry, not Boris Karloff.
If you don't marry my master, he will destroy the world.
If you don't marry my master, he will destroy the world. And then he won't give me any rats. 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 Thousands. Millions of them.
He plans to shoot a giant ice sphere into the sun, and then...
The sun will be extinguished, and all life on Earth will come to an end. Except for vampires, who don't need sunlight.
Yeah, except they still need the living to feast upon. But it's okay, because Max has an idea. Of course he does.
Okay, we need salt, olive oil, and water.
We're making Dracula pasta.
With salt, olive oil, and sacred balm.
Holy water you make?
Does Dracula have a priest on hand to bless it into holy water? Because that seems very unlikely. Also, you didn't say sacred balm a second ago. You said salt, olive oil, and water. It was just a few lines ago. How are these writers so incompetent that they couldn't remember what they just said a few lines ago?
Once he's beaten, we'll lock him up forever.
Oh, sure, just lock him up. That'll stop the super strong, super intelligent, hypnotic shapeshifter.
Salt and oil.
And water.
Max, where will we find sacred balm in a kitchen? I don't think it's going to be in the spice rack.
It's been here all the time. Your bandages are steeped in a sacred embalming fluid.
1. Stop making up shit as you go. 2. If we're assuming that she is wrapped in sacred embalming fluid, so what? How is something meant to preserve a corpse supposed to hurt the undead? Calling something sacred doesn't mean it has the same properties as something else that's considered sacred. 3. Even if the balm in her wrappings actually can hurt Dracula, we need to remember that her mummification came from the Baba Yaga, same as Emma's vampirism, Max's lycanthropy, and Frank's reanimant technology. It really seems like her magic should trump anything Dracula has. Why doesn't she just magically whip up the holy water they want?
Okay, sometimes being smart is extremely cool.
Indeed, you should try it sometime. Emma tries to use the holy water on Dracula, but he just throws another pill at her that turns her vampirism back on, I guess?
I'm sure your mother's love for you is bigger than her appetite.
Now bite him, and we shall live together for all eternity. You're mine. You're a vampire. Fulfill your destiny.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, but you can't sound intimidating when you're in a bathtub full of cucumbers. Emma is able to suppress her hunger because of love, or something. Dracula freezes them, and locks them up to be frozen with the giant snowball. He even managed to lock up Faye, despite her being a cloud of sand at the time. Did he sculpt her into her original form like a sandcastle or something? He also locks up Renfield with the Baba Yaga, making me wonder why he's leaving anyone alive instead of just killing them while they were already frozen. The kids agree with that one thing their mother told them earlier. Emma apologizes for the horrible crime of venting her frustration with her family, and that's enough to make the family happy again, which breaks the Baba Yaga's curse. Hooray! True loves whatever turn them all back into humans. Now they have even less chance of stopping Dracula. Oh, and the bats do a 180 from out of nowhere and unchain our heroes.
Yay!
Boo! So yeah, the bats are suddenly good guys now. Things come to a head as they all band together to take down Dracula, and just when he's about to launch his snowball into space...
That's a dumb sentence!
They take him down by opening the curtains and letting in the sunlight. This movie wants us to believe that this Dracula is a technological genius, but he wouldn't have his windows covered with mechanical shutters that only he can control?
Bullshit!
So Dracula is finally defeated by burning into ash or being frozen by a single snowflake. Sure, why not? The Wishbones go home, not questioning the super futuristic jet plane in front of their house, and they all lived happily ever after. So that was Monster Family, and it was just annoying. This is hardly the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's annoying in that there was some actual potential in this. The animation is actually pretty good, lip-sync issues notwithstanding. The voice actors were doing alright despite the crappy material, and it's satisfying seeing a troubled family moving beyond their dysfunctionality. But the story's a mess, Dracula is a brilliant moron, and everyone in the Wishbone family is just terrible. These are the kind of people you watch on a reality TV show to make you feel good about your own family. However bad you think you have it, at least you're not them. Oh yeah, and I guess we're not all worried about how Imhotep is running around and wanting to take over the world?
Nope, they're probably going to deal with him in the sequel.
Yes, because of course there's a sequel, isn't there? See you later.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die. It's not unusual to go out at any time. But when I see you out and about, it's such a crime. If you should ever wanna be loved by anyone, it's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what you say, you'll find it happens all the time. Love will never do what you wanna do. Why can't this crazy love be more? It's not unusual to be mad with anyone. It's not unusual to be sad with anyone. But if I ever find that you've changed at any time,
subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more, more.